Imagine you're sitting in physics class. Your teacher keeps saying, let's just ignore friction losses. That makes the math easier. But what if it wasn't just a trick to simplify equations? What if friction suddenly did not exist anymore? First, we need to clarify what friction actually is. It appears whenever two surfaces come into contact and try to move against each other. Even if something looks smooth, under a microscope you'd see tiny bumps and valleys. These irregularities catch on each other, molecules interact, and resistance is created. That resistance is friction. There are two main types of friction: static friction and kinetic friction. Static friction keeps objects in place. It's always a bit stronger than sliding friction, which is why it takes more force to start moving a heavy box than to keep it moving. Since there's no relative motion while static friction acts, it hardly produces any heat. Kinetic friction, or sliding friction, takes over once the object is in motion. It's weaker than static friction, but because the surfaces slide against each other, it converts mechanical energy into heat. That's why rubbing your hands together gets them warm. If friction suddenly ceased to exist, the first bit of chaos you'd likely notice would hit even before you could process what was happening. The building you're in would probably collapse within seconds. Why? Think about the bricks that hold a house together. They stay in place because their rough surfaces grip each other. Without friction, they'd just slide apart as if they were wet soap bars on a glass pane. Wooden beams and steel frames would lose their hold because screws and nails rely on friction to stay put. Even a concrete wall would start crumbling, as the sand, gravel, and cement particles would no longer grip one another. Roof tiles would immediately slide off. Honestly, almost no building on Earth would remain standing. But that's just the beginning. Step outside, and you'd see chaos everywhere. Trying to walk? Forget it. Your shoes can't push against the ground, so your legs just slip helplessly. It's like trying to sprint on a perfectly smooth sheet of ice. Only worse because even ice still has a tiny bit of friction. Without any friction at all, you'd just be wiggling in place, unable to move an inch forward. You'd be the only person who could literally fall while standing still. And the roads? A total disaster. A car might still have a working engine, but since clutches use friction to transfer power, you still couldn't drive. If you somehow managed to get the wheels to spin, they wouldn't push the car forward. They'd just spin uselessly, like a hamster on a wheel that can't get anywhere. What if you're already in a moving car? Things just get more interesting, or not. Braking would be impossible. Even if you somehow managed to lock the wheels, the tires wouldn't grip the road. You'd just keep sliding endlessly until you hit something. Imagine being at a red light, stepping on the brake, and nothing happens. You just keep sliding, and so does everyone around you. Talk about a traffic jam. Trains? Same problem. Their steel wheels rely on friction against the tracks. Without it, they'd never even start moving. And if they were already in motion, they'd never stop, ending up in a catastrophic crash. Airplanes? They'd never get off the ground safely. The engines could still push them through the air, but on the runway the wheels would just spin uselessly. Landing would mean sliding uncontrollably until the plane crashes. And it's not just transportation. Machines everywhere would fail instantly. Belts, pulleys, screws, bolts, all useless. Every factory would grind to a halt, not because of too much friction, but because of none at all. And here's the really scary part. Friction is also what holds the Earth itself together on a geological scale. Tectonic plates only stick against each other because of friction. Without it, continents would slide freely over the mantle. Mountains would crumble, earthquakes would release instantly, and the very crust of our planet would become unstable. In short, without friction, society doesn't just struggle, it collapses immediately. Buildings, machines, transportation, even the